And welcome to Chuck It, right? This is a chance for me to just rip. And wow, I hate to rip when everything is so positive. I love going out in my neighborhood and everybody's so friendly. I get out of my truck at the Publix and somebody says, "How's your day going?" Everybody's up. I know not everybody's up in the blue places, but everybody's up everywhere else. So that's fantastic. Now, that being said, I feel like I'm riding a crazy roller coaster. And I mean, one of those crazy ones that goes way up and down and flips upside down and does figure eights and all that stuff. Um, that's what it looks like as I'm watching this administration come together. And I'm like, going off. And so here's the thing that I don't get. Okay. And I really don't get it. Okay. What I don't get is RHINOs. Okay. I know that they're sellouts. I know that they were just faux Dems and they were gaming us and they've been gaming us for decades. And they come to town representing and they make all these promises and rah, rah, rah. Then they go to DC and they get with their Democratic buds and they all start snorting around the trough and it's game on. And it's all how much taxpayer money can we steal? We need some reasons for doing it. They can all be false reasons, but we need to steal as much as we can. And then we're going to turn to the cameras and saying, "I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for you. I'm representing you." And they never are. And so the proof of that, and this is really for the sleepy people, right? Because I think an awful lot of people get it now. But there's sleepy people who think, well, that's Mitch McConnell. He represents the Republicans. Yeah, no, he doesn't. He represents Mitch McConnell and probably the CCP. So let's just take a look at what went down in the past week. Well, these RHINOs are staring down the double barrel of the 2024 mandate, right? Popular vote, electoral vote, all too big to rig. And what's the RHINO reflex to that whole thing? Right here. Hey, let's have a secret vote. Let's make sure that the American people don't know what we're really doing. How the hell do you come up with that? How is that your reaction after all the work and everything that everybody did to try to make this thing happen? And you get a Republican dream. You get a Republican president, a Republican Senate, a Republican House of Representatives. That should be nirvana, except you're not Republicans. You're pigs, right? And you need to get to the trough and you need to make sure that everybody who's big on the feeding frenzy is going to secretly make sure all that continues to happen. So a gigantic nationwide mandate saying we want a new day and a new deal, and your first move is to say, decades we've been screwing these folks. They're too stupid. So we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it in secret. And you don't need to see the men behind the curtain, okay? Just keep working, keep paying your taxes, and we are going to get rich. So, you know what? This is disgusting because what this means is that now Trump has the Senate to watch after, and it immediately starts to have ramifications. So, who's getting picked for Secretary of State? Marco Rubio. Okay. Marco Rubio. Where was Marco Rubio when Trump was being absolutely crucified with lawfare all over the place? Where was he? Was he out there in front of the cameras representing, supporting. Where was he on J6? You know what, Marco? Marco Rubio is the little cock on the weather vane going, which way is the wind blowing today? I need to come up with my position on this. And what do we need around the globe right now after 4 years of absolute weakness and stupidity and playing the guitar? I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? And now we need to project peace through strength. And you're going to send out Marco. You know what? I get it. And you know why he's going to send out Marco? Because that's going to free up a Senate seat. And he can put his daughter-in-law in that Senate seat. And I guarantee she'll outwork everybody. She's smarter than 4/5 of the people in that Senate. And it's just a shame that we get this Secretary of State because the Senate is such a liability. That's just disgusting. And I hope everybody thinks about that all of us came together in good faith, and these dinosaurs are in bad faith, trying to figure out how to get their last load of taxpayer billions offloaded before the entire economy collapses, because the only thing that's propping it up is the printing press at the Fed for faux wars. So I don't know. Everybody's got to wake up. But listen, I'm just not going to rant on the stuff that I don't like. There's lots of great stuff I like, and I'll start with Tom Holman. Oh man, is this guy ever a breath of fresh air? He just gets up and lets it fly. And he knows exactly what he's going to do. He's already done it before for Trump, and then it was all undone. And then Trump says, if I'm elected, will you come back? He says, I'll come back for free. This guy's totally committed. He's just great. And wow, is he an antidote for all of the scummy crap that we've had to watch for the last 4 years. Then Trump makes another great one. Mike Walsh. Mike Walsh for National Security Advisor. Okay. First Green Beret to become a congressman. Just exactly who we need in that spot. Uncompromisable. And then we have Mike Huckabee going to be the ambassador to Israel. Lee Zeldin, head of the EPA. Oh, that's going to make the green people explode. Absolutely going to explode. But that's exactly what we need. A cop congressman from New York going to turn that communist, awful, slow everything down, make sure we can't have nuclear power, make sure small businesses can't afford to open and even stay open. All of that nonsense that strangles the United States. That's going to stop. And then Elise Stefanik, as the ambassador to the UN, you can sell tickets for that. Okay? That woman is strong, and she takes scalps. And those clowns at the UN, they are so awful and anti-American and anti-peace. And you know what? This is my hope. My hope is that Elise will eviscerate that place, and Trump will go, you know what? You're fired. You're out of here. You're out of here. That real estate's too valuable to have a bunch of thugs from around the world, okay, doing their business, and we pay for it? I don't want to pay for the UN anymore. Absolutely not. So let's turn that in. Let's take that building and that property and turn it into a village for veterans, and let them enjoy the view of the water, and let them enjoy the sea breeze, and let them be waterfront. That would be a great statement. Love to see that happen. What else? Well, I'm saving the best and the worst for last. Let's start with the worst. Okay, the worst is the Wisconsin Senate race, where the senator up there was ahead at 1 a.m., and then at 4 a.m., there's a ballot dump of 108,000 ballots. And oh my gosh, over 90% of them were for the Democrat who was losing. So we can't let this happen. We cannot let this just go. Can't let it in Arizona. Arizona, they're totally stealing that from Kari Lake. And Wisconsin, this is happening. And I don't know what the mechanisms are, but I know that justice, true justice, a single level Department of Justice, not what we've had for 4 years, rules for thee and not for me, that two-tiered level that makes these people so smarmy and obnoxious. One level of justice, and that crap can't go on in Wisconsin, and it can't go on in Arizona, not with the mandate we have. And something needs to happen. Way above my pay grade. I don't know how you make it happen, but something has to happen. The best is for last, okay? All I can say is Obi-Wan is back. The master troller threw down today, and it was so great. Trump says he wants reparations for white people. Reparations for white people. It's too good. You know what? I'm down here in Florida, but I heard those blue heads exploding in Manhattan. It was like fireworks. They just exploded. You know what? I think CNN may stop their bloodletting over there. I think they'll stop firing all of those prompter reading clowns, because just white reparations, they can sell enough ad space for probably 4 or 5 months just on that. Run that thing up the flagpole. Racism, white patriarchy, Trump's a psychopath, all of that kind of thing. White reparations in the midst of everything else. I mean, the guy is a genius. They're never going to keep up with him. And it's going to take him for, I mean, Al Sharpton must have a half a dozen cameras around him. He's going to break his neck trying to stare at all of them and get everything out. And that'd be a wonderful thing. So, wow. That means that we're in for 4 years of fun, no matter how awful the chess play is. And it's already pretty awful. But I have to say, I understand the game with Rubio. Rubio certainly has the qualifications. I just don't know in his marrow whether or not he's ready to be a leader. It'd be great. But you know what? I would have liked somebody who could clean house over at state, because that's just a den of vipers who hates America. So I don't think Rubio's going to get that job done. And if number 2 was Grinnell, he's tough enough to get it done, but, you know, you can't do everything. So let's see what happens. Let's get Laura Trump in the Senate, and let's try to get Kari Lake in the Senate. And let's get this guy from Wisconsin in the Senate. It's going to be harder and harder for these dinosaur hogs to continue their feeding frenzy. And if we can't do that with the mandate that was put up in good faith by the American people, then I don't get it. And that's the end of that.